guys.
Hello.
Welcome back to the channel. We are sailing Nandji if you're new here. My name's Benita.
I'm Yosh.
We have a daughter named Tallulah and a dog called Marley. We are a family that are sailing around the world. We're currently in Reunion Island and we've had a lot of things happen on our channel. It's a little bit confusing. We've had lots of questions and we just want to do a little bit of a life update, I guess. If
you're caught up to our videos at the moment, you'll see that I have a crew of lads on board You'll see they have a crew of lads on board. We're currently in Indonesia getting ready for the Indian Ocean passage. So Benita and Tallulah actually sat out this one.
When we first started sailing, looking forwards, we were planning on sailing around the world from Solomon Islands. I think that's when we decided we wanted to continue and try to do a lap. And I always said to Yosh that I don't want to do the Indian Ocean with a child or a baby. We postponed starting a family. We were going to start trying in South Africa. But of course in 2020, when all the borders were closed down, our passage was halted, and so we ended up getting pregnant in Malaysia. But it's still always been on my mind that I don't want to do this passage with a child, and so it didn't feel right for me to then take Tallulah. Instead of planning for all of us to go together, we are trying to get pregnant again, and so we were doing fertility treatments, and instead of stopping that to kind of plan for the crossing, we thought we'll just keep trying and see if we can get pregnant before the crossing. And so we made other plans for crew to jump on board and do this passage, and that's what felt right for us, hey? And like, it's a new boat as well, so it has been tested around the islands and stuff, but not in the kind of conditions that the Indian Ocean brings. And Yosh has a lot of sailing experience as well as a captain, but it just, as parents, it felt right for us to kind of be a bit more prepared for something like this, to sail with kids, and to know that the boat is up for it, we're up for it, Yosh is up for it. Because we have a huge responsibility. So,
and then in hindsight, it was probably the best decision we could have made in the fact that the ladies flew to Mauritius and were standing on the dock. For one, that was a very nice feeling to roll into a new country, new port, and to see the family there cheering you on. But two, it was a pretty rowdy sail. It was very sporty at times, and you know, Tallulah is a very active young girl and she doesn't really know what's going on, and to confine her to be on a boat for such a long time in a very rough condition, I think it would be very hard upon everybody on board. And
we have been sailing with Tallulah, but we've been in Southeast Asia. We've been in
small
really
jumps,
calm water.
Couple of nights at sea, no
so
worries, mate.
It's a big jump to go from sailing around the equator to the Indian Ocean. So we feel better prepared now, and it also didn't sit right with me because it's not the easiest or the calmest passage way to get across the Indian Ocean. The Northern Hemisphere is a lot calmer.
But I really wanted to sail the Southern Hemisphere, and I really wanted to do this passage to Reunion. I wanted to sit in the trade winds, I wanted to sit in the rough ocean, I wanted to send it, I wanted to put the boat through its paces and have a hell time sailing.
And I said to Yosh, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this passage with a child as well. So if you want to do this, that's cool. Like, I'm happy for you to do it, but we aren't going to be joining you. So let's look for crew. And that's what we decided upon. And
that's how we ended up with a couple of lads on board. Because like the whole idea was, you know, it was going to be a bit of a boys' trip. It was going to be like, we're going to do some gnarly things, and like that was what I really pushed when I was looking for crew. It was like, it's not a romantic sail. Where we're going is pretty cool. Not many people do this. A lot of people will try to sail, say, from Kukuskilling, and they'll end up heading north, and they'll turn and run towards the Seychelles, or if they go up to Chagos or something like that, heading down and spending that extra time at sea and getting to the more southern latitudes and getting to Reunion and Mauritius is something that a lot of people don't actually do. When we arrived into Rodriguez, we were the 4th boat that had crossed, and we haven't really seen any boats behind us, so that's not a lot of boats. You know?
I was expecting this marina to be kind of full of world travellers and things, and I think us and another boat. Is it 2?
There's only 2 of us.
There's 2 boats from
in the other marina. We saw 2 other international flags today when we went for a walk. So
it's not a common route. We had a comment from someone that said that they saw us working away in the Mooloolaba River many years ago. And just wondering if we'd ever thought about moving off the boat and doing some land time.
And people also ask, because we loved Indonesia so much, why don't we get our own patch of Indo? Why don't we have a villa? Why don't we look into that side of things?
Yeah.
We actually did do this quite a few years ago now. as we were coming out of that time where all borders were locked and we were looking for community, we were looking for some sort of stabilisation, we were a bit unsure about how things were.
And we were unsure about how to move forwards with sailing and the world and everything, and so we were kind of wanting to just have a community, a backyard, and we were kind of yearning for these things and being close to friends, and we were really missing that. So we went through a period.
Yeah, we absolutely did. And we looked into ways of investing in Indonesia. Indonesia's a beautiful country. It has great weather. It's rapidly developing. And so it was a place that we hold dear, and we thought that, yes, we wanted to live there and we wanted to stay there. And so we did look into getting a villa in Bali.
Alex Villas is the top villa developer in Bali. They've got over 10 years experience. On their website, they currently have over 60 different properties on offer that are booked out until October.
Gaining land titles in Bali, in Indonesia, can be quite difficult without the right help, whereas Alex Villas have a whole team to look after you through to gaining your lawful land title, through the construction period, and even to building and decorating your villa with their own furniture.
They already have 7 large complexes, and their latest development is in Canggu, rightfully called the heart of Canggu.
Canggu is a very popular little holiday place. It's the absolute booming hotspot of Bali. There's a couple of little beach break waves. The township itself has just exploded, and it is a bustling little joint these days.
Yeah.
So.
The great thing about Bali is it's not a seasonal destination, meaning if you did invest there, it's possible to rent the place out year round.
And you can go there year round
Yeah.
and still enjoy it. They offer an incredible return of 16% per year. Investors can expect money back within 5 years with guaranteed income secured in the contract.
If your return is below the indicators calculated on the financial model at the point of sale, then 100% of the property costs will be refunded.
For more information, scan the QR code here on the screen or the link in the description below. You'll learn a whole lot more about Alex Villas and what they can offer you.
It goes without saying, we are not financial advisors, and with any investment also comes a risk, so be sure to do your own research and contact your financial advisor.
We just wanted to make you aware of Alex Villas and know what they're up to. They're doing some great things in Bali, so if you do look to invest, be sure to check them out. There is a link in the description down below. And if you take that extra step, use the promo code SAILINGNANDJI and you'll get yourself 2% off your purchase price. It's always on the forefront of something we are thinking about to maybe go back to Indonesia one day and do the land thing there. But for now, here we are in Reunion Island, and this is where we want to explore. And we're firmly set on sailing west now.
We're very happy where we are.
Yeah, it's amazing.
It feels great to be moving.
Bakery treats.
Yeah, patisserie. We've had a lot of people asking if the fertility treatment worked, and it didn't, unfortunately, but we're feeling very optimistic, and I'm sure there's lots of people out there that have gone through the same thing, and it is a roller coaster of emotions every month. Like, we're kind of very hopeful and then grieving, but I think we're very optimistic, we're healthy, and so yeah, we just...
To quote my older brother, well mate, he's going to have to keep on trying.
Yeah, fingers crossed for us. Everything crossed. Yeah. Absolutely. So it will happen. It's just taking longer than it expected. So and so I guess with us out of the picture, we're off to Sri Lanka. You got some crew on board. How did you meet the crew?
So crew, actually, I posted a lot of ads on the online Facebook groups like hitchhikers and crew finders and all those sorts of things, and got totally inundated by a whole heap of messages. Yeah, I went through and just sort of picked people out, but I sort of had the target of people that I was looking for, which was a surfer, and you didn't have to be a sailor, you didn't have to know how to sail, but I wanted people that understood the ocean and that understood boats, so they knew about boats, and that's how we ended up with crew. He works on a boat, he works offshore in Alaska, so he understands boat etiquette, he understands the ocean, he was a surfer. Because we wanted to get some waves in Indo beforehand, we wanted someone who was skillful, knowledgeable.
But crew hadn't actually sailed before, had he?
He had never sailed, no.
But he knew...
But he knows boats.
And ropes.
His job is a mariner, so he understands the maritime, he understands boats, and so he understands the ocean, so that was a big reason why we invited him on board.
And the other crew member, Disco Stew.
Disco Stew. So Benita first made contact with Disco years ago on Instagram.
Yeah, so I was looking on Instagram for other people that had crossed the Indian Ocean. I was just wanting to have a look at their trip, asking them about it, and connect, because it's not a very common thing, to be honest. A lot of people end up sailing around the world and then selling their boat in Asia and missing out on the next leg. So yeah, so I was trying to reach out and I looked up the hashtag Indian Ocean Crossing, and Stu was one of the only people that had posted things under that hashtag.
So he actually had sailed across the Indian Ocean already, doing the exact trip that we were planning to do.
In a catamaran.
And then so we connected back then, because we also had mutual friends, and he worked in the Mentawai Islands, or works in the Ments. So us spending a lot of time over there, we knew a lot of the same people, and we hung out in Bali a couple of times and really got along. And so
just stay connected. He said, when you're ready to go, let me know, I'm in. And
yeah, he's just a froth lord, you know, so he was right there.
It's amazing that it actually did eventuate, because normally these things don't. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty cool. So that all worked out really well in the end.
Yeah, I think you did a really good job in choosing the crew, and the fact that you guys are all surfers was something that you bonded over, and that you could chill.
Similar interests to start with, which was key.
Awesome. If you watch the latest episodes, you'll get to see them and some of their personalities come through. They're both characters, and the boys had a great time. We got along, so it was awesome.
Yeah, they were really good lads, and we'll definitely be friends for a long time. And it's one of those things that you can work together as a team and done some gnarly things, man. So it's really cool. So I'll always have a good spot for those lads.
We've had lots of comments from people in South Africa that are asking where we are, when we're going to be there, like warning us about the weather around there at the moment. And so our plan from Reunion is to sail to Madagascar, and then we're going to cross over to South Africa around maybe October, November. So we're looking to be in Cape Town around December. So we'll be in
December, January.
Something like that. Yeah.
Well, in saying that, we'll just say South Africa through summer. Because someone also asked, when are we going to be in St. Francis Bay? Well, mate, that's all up to you, because I do know there's a little private marina in Cape St. Francis, and if you can hook us up with someone that can get us in there, mate, we'll be in Cape St. Francis for quite some time.
Yeah, book us in.
That is a small town which is very close to another town called Jeffreys Bay, which happens to be the home to one of the best right-hand point breaks in the world for surfing, and it's been my dream to surf there, to go there, to hang out there, and to be able to have our boat just 20k up the road, mate. I'm sold. So yeah, anyone in Cape St. Francis and who has a connection with that marina, send it my way, please.
Also, a lot of people telling us to be careful with the crossing over to South Africa. We are very aware of the Agulhas current and the situation there with the ocean, and how dangerous it can be, and how quickly things can change. So we'll be very nervously doing that passage, I think, and very cautiously. So, and we also have a weather router. Many people might know him. His name's Des. So he'll be overseeing our sailing and just keeping an eye on the greater picture of things that may be coming as a threat. So
and I'll pretty well guarantee we won't be the only boat leaving at that time. Sort of as all the vessels that have crossed the Indian Ocean this year in the Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, people that have come from South Africa and just working their way up the East Coast as well. There's sort of a lot of people congregate around the northwest tip of Madagascar, around Nosy Be and Hellville. I already know there'll be a big cruiser community then from cruising around Madagascar and being around that sort of northwest tip. So
all waiting for that weather window to leave.
All heading the same direction.
So the aim is to have some buddy boats come along with us, have Des watching over us, and we are sailors, but we are parents as well. So we'll be taking this very carefully and
definitely, you've got to be very vigilant, and the waters around South Africa are some of the most gnarliest ones in the world. What makes them so dangerous is that Agulhas current. So when those low pressure systems collide with the Agulhas current, they can build some really big waves. And the thing with the coast of South Africa is that there's not a lot of anchorages, so you sort of have to marina hop your way around. So it's very well forecasted, and we are very confident about doing the journey. But it's just part of the trip around the world, so just be prepared.
Yeah, it'll be a big sigh of relief though once we get to Cape Town, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But South Africa is going to be a beautiful place, and we're actually very excited to be sailing through there and hanging out there.
And meeting all of you guys. So many people from South Africa watch us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be nice to...
We're definitely not in a hurry to leave South Africa, put it that way. We're very excited to get there, and we're not in a hurry to leave. So we'll see what our visas allow, but we'll definitely be trying to stay as long as we can.
We've had a few questions about whether or not we're open to cruising the Med.
Yeah, and going to Europe, for sure. You know, we're definitely open to it. Currently, it's not on our radar because we're heading to South Africa. And then to get to Europe, you can either go up the east coast of Africa and through the Suez Canal, but that's not really a safe way to be going up and now with piracy and the conflict in the Middle East.
Just sailing past Somalia as well, like you're not just dealing with the Red Sea stuff, you're also dealing with the Somali
stuff.
Somalia
Pirates are starting to get pretty active again as of recent.
Yeah, between around Seychelles.
So currently heading up past Tanzania, Kenya is still a bit out of a no-go zone. Heading west from South Africa, you sort of head over to Brazil and up into the Caribbean, and then you still got to cross back across the Atlantic from America to get back to Europe. So it's definitely not out of reach. We're sailing around the world, man. So when we get there, we'll make up our mind if we go that way or if we don't. You know?
But it's not off the cards. It's just
it's just not in our area yet.
Yeah.
When it reaches our area, then for sure. Just like someone said, will you ever go to New Zealand? Yeah, man, when we reach the Pacific, for sure. New Zealand's like that, is that country that everyone sort of jumps down to get out of cyclone season, and they all head back north again. So when we reach the Pacific, we will definitely be doing the same thing. So people know a bit more about the passage and then sailing across the Indian, about how the crew was and who was the chef on board. I can tell you that I definitely was not the chef. Crew cooked a couple of times, but on the second time he gave us all the squirts. So Disco Stew, who actually was a bit of a chef anyway, he cooked up some mean feeds and we ate so well.
The freezer was full of red meat. I'm a pescatarian and I normally cook all vegetarian food mainly, plus with fish meals as well, and the freezer was full of red meat, and so the boys just had steaks and bacon and Josh would send me a message of just all this meat, like
it's just like you wake up in the morning at sea and the kitchen just smells like bacon. It's like I've just never had that on the boat before, so it was it was nice. We ate really well, so big shout outs to Disco.
Did anyone get seasick?
No one got seasick. There was not even a whisper or a word of seasickness or spew or vomit or I'm not feeling well.
That's impressive.
Yeah, no, everyone was fine, hey.
Wow.
Even it was 4 or 5 metre seas and I was head down in the bilge fixing stuff, and so crews there handing me tools and head down and everything.
That's when you start to feel queasy.
That's when you feel a bit queasy. It's hot and you're rolling
got the fumes
around.
And stuff and
diesel, even changing filters and stuff at sea. And everyone was solid and sweet, eh? It was actually crazy. We never even thought about it or said it once. No one even mentioned seasickness. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which is good.
Yeah.
I bet you our next sail I'll be spewing over the side.
We've been in Reunion for about a week now, but we've barely gone away from the marina. We've been trying to get all these videos done for you guys, so it's been literally just solid day and night editing on the computers, taking Marley for runs and keeping Tallulah occupied as well. But other than that, we haven't seen any of Reunion yet, so
the thing about Reunion Island is that we can't really sail around it. It's very deep water, there's no anchorages, it's super windy and there's a lot of swell.
But there's a lot of land travel. It's kind of like the Hawaii of the Indian Ocean. It's got massive...
French Polynesia.
Just the landscape is incredible. Lots of waterfalls, hiking.
It's an amazing island.
Yeah.
but for us to go explore it, we're going to leave the boat. So we're actually looking into doing a bit of van lifing maybe around Reunion Island, which would be so sick.
Yeah, maybe a week of van life. This is the kind of place where you could park the car and wake up next to a waterfall. It's really
insane.
Cool. Yeah.
It's an amazing island. We are very excited to explore it and check it out. We have requirements that we need to do, so we've got to fix a few things on the boat and make sure the boat is seaworthy, because we still are on a limited time being here, so we do have to move on and continue with our miles moving west. We still have a couple of thousand to reach South Africa, So we have to make sure the boat is fit and healthy and always ready to go to sea at any minute.
Yeah. Anyway, we're having fun, aren't we?
We're loving it though, but
Loving it. It's great to be in a new place, new temperature. We're not super humid. We've been living in the tropics, which is amazing. It's awesome being warm all the time, but it is so humid in some parts that we've been in, and you're just existing, you are sweating. It's pretty uncomfortable, you know. So the temperature here is, I would say, perfect.
It's insane.
It is like the perfect
We're
temperature.
always worried about, you know, sailing like super south or whatever. We're at 21 degrees south. It's winter here.
It's winter here.
It's always clear skies.
Yeah, it's
The
fresh.
sun is always shining.
Yeah.
It's like 24 degrees every day.
It's warm in the sun.
So nice.
But then in the shade, it's this really cool, the air's not hot and heavy, it's fresh. And so, yeah, it's got the best of both worlds, I think. It's like the perfect temperature.
But the ocean is freezing cold.
And it's full of sharks here
It's
as
full
well.
of sharks. I hope that answers a lot of those questions and clears up a lot of things. Gives you a pretty good life update of what has been going on. All our Indian Ocean sailing videos with me and the lads will be coming up very shortly. We are deep in editing those at the moment.
If you are enjoying the journey, please consider becoming a Patreon. We're trying to save up at the moment for a new drone and a new camera lens. So all of this kind of helps us to keep going and keep filming and keep the boat running. So thank you to all of our patrons. We couldn't do this without you. And yeah, we'd love to have some more jump on board to help us keep going.
It's the Froth family that keeps us moving forward.
Yeah.
So thanks very much, team, for supporting our channel and supporting our adventures. 'Cause without you guys, it's just not possible, you know.
All right, guys, if you have any other questions, put them in the comments below and we'll come back to this one for the next time we do a catch-up.
Right on.
All right, guys. Peace.
Catch ya.
Bye.